Welcome. I'd like to call to order the meeting for today for the Marion City Chamber of Commerce for June 11th, 2019.
City Council.
City Council.
Yeah.
What'd I say? Chamber. I'm sorry. I've been there and done that too. City Council, I apologize. If you would please stand for the prayer and pledge allegiance. Lord, thank you for allowing us to come together as citizens of Marion to do the good wills and wishes of the citizens of Marion. Allow us to make the right judgments and decisions to represent us as communities. Lord, but bless everyone that's here this evening and our men and women that are overseas, protecting our interests. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Once again, welcome everyone that's in attendance to the City Council meeting. And I do apologize, and thank y'all for coming. Moving on right on our agenda, I would like to have a motion to approve our minutes from our regular scheduled meeting on May 14th.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
One or the other. However you want to write
Any
it.
opposed? Do I have a motion to approve the special meeting minutes from May 21st, 2019?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, I'd like to congratulate our Employee of the Month for this month. And I think Mr. Winky, is Winky? Oh, I didn't see him. I can't see him from the top. Oh, Mr. Winky 4. Come on up, Winky. Winky is our Employee of the Month. I couldn't see him from the top. Winky, come on up. So we had to, we had a little bruise, we had to get Winky over here. I'll tell you about it. Winky, congratulations.
They going the wrong way, you go the right way.
Let's smile and you go put here with that. So, Winky, you see Winky's moving a little slow today. We've been getting prepared for planting a lot of trees in the city of Marion this coming week, and I'll tell you all about it in a minute. He's supposed to be able to give you the tree update, but we had to have a ruse to get you here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everything you did to see this was token. I appreciate it. Moving right along with our agenda, next would be Mr. Ammons on the Administrative Report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just a couple things to go over. That first is, got some good news, and you got it in front of you. Several months ago we had a consultant, Greenbug, come in and doing our energy audit and proposing the LED upgrades and all. And we originally thought on the figure that it'd be like a 10-year payback. After they sent it to the Department of Energy office to Columbia to get it approved, found out we'd be able to pay it back in 8 years. And you have it in front of you. And so that was some good news. And they'll be ready to start probably about July 1. Actually doing it. We need to put it on the record that council approves since we are changing the terms of the payback.
All right, do I,
Maintenance continues to 8 years.
Ma'am, move we approve the information just presented to us to change the terms on the deal with the energy office to 8 years amortization.
Section.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Ammons. Motion carries.
Next, I'd just like to update council again. As most of you know, the last couple of months, we've been working on our weeds and vegetation ordinance. We sent out about 400 letters of non-compliance originally. Probably half of them complied on the first go-round, and actually now our crews are actually going, throughout the city and cutting the lots and stuff where we have non-compliance. We're just about to get about 80-85% of the town covered. With all the non-compliant lots. I know we actually started over around Jonathan and started coming all the way around, but today they were down on West Liberty, cutting around Blumenthal and those vacant lots there that, as most every year, those are non-compliant. But we'll continue working on that. And as with the new orders, you remember we changed, we only have to send out one notice. So now when they ride by and find one that's out of compliance, we can go ahead and cut it and then pass the fees on the tax. Just wanted to update you on that.
Thank you, Alan. Mr. Brogdon, anything for us tonight, sir?
Nothing from me, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is a presentation from Mr. Christopher Davis on the academic summer camp.
Greetings, Mayor Brady and council members. Hopefully I will be as brief as possible. I think they said that I had about 7 minutes, and I will try to stay within that time frame. Just briefly, let me just ask all of you councilpersons to, for a second, imagine when you came into the room and all of the seats were empty. There were no bodies in the seats, no nameplates on the mantle. It was just empty. Can you imagine when your time has come to move off of this set to another set, who will succeed you? I ask that question because I have a concern, and my concern is what will become of, I did this project on what will become of the fabric of black boys, but not to mention the fact that what will become of the fabric of young people, period, especially young people in the city of Marion. So I did this project, and I'm going to hasten to close. But in my mind, I was asking the questions. If you have not paid close attention to a lot of the things that are going on within the city of Marion itself, not just black boys, while I did this project on black boys, not just black boys, but boys in particular, and young people in particular, in the city of Marion are fighting. They're trying to prevent from drowning in the flood. There's so many things that they're fighting, so many issues that they're fighting. What will become of the fabric of them? Is there really a future for what we call our future? Can you envision quality health care for children who come from disadvantaged income households? Can black boys and any boy or any young person obtain a quality education coming from minimal means or household as the fathers? These are just some of the issues that young people are facing in our society, and especially in the city of Marion. So I went from there as I followed the law, Read to Succeed, from its inception until it was passed in the General Assembly. Read to Succeed, for those of you, I'm sure all of you council members are aware of it, but for those persons behind me who's not aware of Read to Succeed is a law that was passed in the General Assembly that says if your child is not reading proficiently by the end of the 3rd grade, he or she will be retained. Having had an opportunity to return to Marion over the past academic school year and be placed in a capacity to teach 5th grade, I learned an astronomical amount more. So here's what I did. I created since it was football season and everybody was just so hyped up about the football season, I created an academic Super Bowl championship from this vision board, envisioning from the pass to the winning catch, how to train these boys how to win academically. Envisioning the pass, envisioning the beginning of the game to winning. So, with that, I've had the opportunity to bring, with the help of persons like Councilwoman Taxi Lewis Grant, some help from Councilman Hunt in his absence.
Excuse me, all the books I bought.
But nonetheless, I was able to bring a number of authors to the community and share them with persons in this area. I emailed Mayor Brady and the Administrator Ammons in regards to creating a reading challenge, and naming it a mayor's reading challenge for young people in the community, primarily boys. We have a serious issue in terms of literacy. A lot of our young people cannot read. If you cannot read, you're not going to be able to do the math. So I asked you initially to use the power of your imagination to envision who will succeed you. If they cannot read, they can't do the math. They will not be able to succeed you. These seats are going to be empty. Almost to the end, last week we had this particular author, and I'll pass the book around to you in a second. This particular author came to our city. He's a world-renowned author based on a poem he wrote, "Cause I Ain't Got a Pencil." The pencil itself is significant to lack. Imagine again, nobody in your seats. Something's missing. There's lack. And the pencil is just significant to a lot of things that's lacking in a lot of homes with these young people. Having had an opportunity to study psychology and social work, I could relate. But what I did was, over this past academic year, I didn't just talk about the fact that I could relate to them, I demonstrated to them how I could relate. So I'm gonna pass this book around, and I'm gonna share that with you, and I'm gonna move out of your way. But I just wanted to also say that in the scheme of all of this, we have to be concerned about the young people in this community, whether they be black or whether they be white or any other ethnicity. We really have to be concerned because it's a serious issue in terms of literacy. But what I also decided was, in terms of this academic summer camp that I was proposing, to use the classroom at City Joint Auditorium, in which Mr. Ammons has always been accommodative in terms of when I needed to use it and for what I needed to use it for. I just thought about, because of the fact that there are so many other issues, underlying issues, I decided that I would retract that request. But I just wanted to share with you that we have some issues within our city and that we really need to address some of those issues in whatever way that we can. Lastly, Councilman Hunt knows very well that a number of years as children, when our teachers discarded the books that we use during the course of the year, I would bring the books home and teach them on their porches or porches in the community. I would teach them reading and math, per se, during the courses of the summer, the kids in our neighborhood. The academic summer camp was one of the things that I wanted to propose to using from teaching this information in terms of the South Carolina PAC test, because of the fact that in recognizing when the students got ready for the PAC test, one student picked his nose 2 days in a row for it to bleed so he could be excused. So many of the young people in our community that took the test got sick. There was always an excuse: I'm sick on my stomach, or I got a headache, or this or that or the other. They were not prepared. I wanted to take my time and go over some of these things with these young people in this community so that when they got back the next academic year, they wouldn't have so many issues in terms of learning. But again, I want to retract that because I'm probably going to return to Atlanta and do some other things. And lastly, I know that I said that 5 minutes ago, I came to yesterday because I got wind of the governor coming for planting trees. So I reached out to this author, who's a very good friend of mine from Atlanta as well, and I thought that perhaps when I raised the question in terms of the governor's appearance and the locations where he would appear, some said Marion. Then I was told later on that Sellers would be added to the list. Well, having had the opportunity to work with some young boys who live in the town of Sellers, I figured that why don't I generate an effort to at least give 25 boys from the town of Sellers a copy of this particular book, and in some kind of way figure out how they could be in on the tree planting process. While I was not able to connect with the garden club here in Marion and really find out, who exactly was involved. So I did come to the city hall and I spoke with a young lady who works across the hall from Ms. Vicki Nichols. The young lady was very nice, very professional, and she was very pleasant, and she said to me that Ms. Nichols had the information that was needed. Well, I approached Ms. Nichols' office when she returned, and I walked in the door, close to her desk. See how y'all looking? That was the book that I got from Ms. Nichols. Not to say, how are you today, sir? What is it that I may be able to do for you? So I had to raise the question in terms of the governor and his appearance. Well, Sellers was never mentioned, so I mentioned Sellers. But the issue at hand is that when I raised the question and I presented that Sellers, I asked what was the schedule going to be like, because I had already reached out to some people who said that they would donate a copy of the book for the boys to participate, even if they had to watch the tree being planted and not be in the actual planting itself. They would actually have the book to go back to and look at the book to see the story as to how plants grow. But Ms. Nichols said to me, I don't know if he's coming.
Well, we still don't know the schedule for the governor.
Right.
Unfortunately, his schedule is very fluid right now, so she's not telling you something.
And
that
I understand that. I understand all of that. But it's almost like when I walked through the door, I could have at least gotten a greeting to say, good afternoon, how are you doing? Is there anything I can help you with? That, had I been in that capacity, I would have done just that, to say, how are you? Is there anything I can help you with? Nonetheless, and if it was for security reasons or whatever, I would have understood. All I was just doing was asking a question. But I thank you for your time, and I thank you for hearing me out. And I do plan to continue to work with Administrator Ammons and also the director to utilize the classrooms at some point to bring some other authors. As a matter of fact, we have an author coming from Atlanta on Monday the 17th. But in terms of the academic reading camp, I just wanted to retract that. But I felt like it was also important that you knew that right here in the city of Marion, that we had issues wherein our young people cannot read and they will not be able to do the math simply because they cannot read and because of the fact that a lot of the math problems are reading problems.
Well, we appreciate you coming and working and presenting that. The city of Marion understands and realizes that literacy is a problem for all our children, and everyone on this council agrees that literacy is a problem and wants everyone to be able to read. So this year we partnered with the library, and the library has an extensive program and schedule that we are working with. If you look on your agenda, you'll see a calendar of events that we partnered with the library this year to help our children and to be able to read. So we appreciate it. We understand that literacy is an issue, and we're doing that with partnering with them and the PASA as far as the program for the children as well for the summer. So we've got 2 programs that we're working with. It's not like we're sticking our head in the sand and ignoring the issue. We realized it earlier in this year, and we planned for something for the children to have for the summer to do. Thank you for coming.
I'd like to say something, if you don't mind, Ms. Mayor. And you're absolutely right. All your life you've been a teacher. Don't believe that, Chris. I'd like to say something to you. You really have inspired us. You did a great job. And as a kid, you used to come around and want the teachers then, so I'm glad that you're still in the teaching mood. And this is a good thing, too, because if we looked at you a certain way, it's just because we was really interested in what you have to say. So sometimes the look ain't really what you think it is. And we love you, and we love for what you do. I hope you keep doing it. If you need our help, we're here to support you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could too.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis, I've never met you. I appreciate you coming tonight. Have you talked to school board about your program?
Yes. As a matter of fact, the district has agreed to collaborate with, as well as some of the office to the summer reading camp that's going on.
Good.
That's really good. I'm glad for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moving right along with a couple of updates is, yes, included this summer you have in front of you a schedule that we collaborate with the library system to have programs throughout the summer. And when you see, and these young ladies came and did a presentation to Alan and I, they got quite a busy summer ahead of them as far as the reading program for all the children at the library. And then also we partnered with Justine with the PASA program, and she is having a program at her facility up here on North Main Street. And Miss Ellen Baldwin is working with her over the program over at Grice's Recreation Center. And we have our pool open. The pool is open Monday. And I keep in mind, we keep remember that the admission for the pool is $1. We didn't change that this coming year. It is still $1. So we've got those programs going on for the children right now at City of Marion. Going on to the governor. The governor's schedule, I think, is the governor's going to be in town, and as we said, we're going to plant 38 trees. And Mr. Lincoln, we didn't mean to get you up here on a ruse, but that's how we had to figure to get you up here. On the hike bike trail next to Bobby Gerald Parkway out there from Withlacoochee Avenue down to Canal, Catfish Creek, you'll see 38 holes dug. We're going to start planting 28 trees. This is a grant that was by the Forestry Commission, the Arbor Day Commission. We're going to plant 28 trees. They've designed the program, the plan, 4 different species of trees. Our guys will plant 28. This coming Saturday, the governor will be in town. He was supposed to be here at 9 o'clock and then go to Nichols to work over at Nichols in their disaster relief. Well, hot off the press today, about 5 o'clock, he's not going to be here till 12 o'clock. So it keeps moving. It's fluid is when he's going to come. When the governor gets here, there will already be some FedEx and volunteer employees that are going to be here, and a lot of other different volunteers from the Forestry Commission, if you would like to come out. There will be water, there will be gloves, and we're going to plant the remaining of the 10 trees. The governor's going to make his comment, and then we'll be all on our merry way. So Saturday morning we'll be kind of busy on Bobby Gerald Parkway, but that's part funded by the South Carolina Floodwater Commission, and the governor's going to be here, like I said, and then they're going to Nichols to work as well. Now, we are sitting in cooperation with the city of Nichols, which has been devastated by flood. We're going to send a couple of guys over there with the cleanup crews, and they'll be over there for a couple of hours helping them and supporting them with all the devastation they've had over there. So that's what's happening with the governor being in town this coming Saturday. A couple weekends ago, if you didn't have an opportunity to go, the United States Air Force Heritage Wind Quintet was up at the Opera House. They played music for about an hour. Very excellent program. I wish we'd have a little bit more crowd, but those young men and women in our Air Force did a fantastic job, and we enjoyed it. Had a great time. Read my notes here. We're cleaning right-of-ways. If you see in your district, I was talking about right-of-ways, the right-of-ways in your district, trees going up around stop signs or fire hydrant, God forbid, or anything, just let us know. We're working around. Mr. Winky and his crews are doing an excellent job of cleaning those right-of-ways. Some of them have grown up a pretty good bit over a few years, so we're working on cleaning those up. And I know Winky wouldn't mind me addressing this as well. TVs and tires. Please remind your constituents that TVs and tires need to go to the recycling center on Bobby Gerald Parkway, not in front of your house, because we can't technically supposed to pick them up, and it's just an eyesore for your neighborhood. Public Works, we talked about that. Thank you, City Council, for doing that. We got our trucks in for Public Works, and we have some happy employees, and we're repurposing some of those trucks. The Police Department, they've got all their cars in, and we got them striped, and you'll see them running around town, so those guys are happy with that. Our vac truck, that should be delivered next week.
Next Wednesday.
And we'll probably do something on that and have a little picture and thank you.
I'll call everybody and let them know.
Yep, so that'll be in next week. Going back to Catfish Creek, of course, they're going to be planting trees down there. Well, you might say, well, what does a tree have to do with help solve flooding problems, right? Kind of ask the same question. So Alan and I have been to 2 DOT meetings around here at the section shed over here on Godbow Street. And then the meetings that we've been to, according to what we've been told by the people there, the head people, money has been appropriated to DNR, Department of Natural Resources, and that Department of Natural Resources and DOT are supposed to be cooperating and working on cleaning a section of Catfish, 576 down.
Oh, yeah, 576 now.
So they're going to be working on cleaning those out as the Department of Natural Resources. So the money's been allocated. They kind of told us when we met last week it was sometime next couple of weeks. There's no definitive time.
You say 576 down, Mr. Mayor, I'm not trying to interrupt, is it all the way to the Big Piggy River?
That's what it told us. Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
576 to the river.
That's what they said. Like I said, we've been to 2 meetings with them. So that's a positive step in the right direction. And if once they can, we need to get them to come up, go up some a little bit. But the majority of the problems tend to be south of us with the beaver dams and everything like that. So they recognize that as well. But they've flown drones over it, got drone video of it, so they kind of know what they're going to be getting into. So that was a good meeting we've attended. The drainage project on Park Street supposed to start Thursday. We met with the gentleman today, the contractor. He had a couple extra questions, and keep you up to date on that. CD Joiner, over around at CD Joiner, we installed 3 new awnings on the front door, because the awnings that were there were molded and mildew, had stuff growing on that shouldn't be growing on awnings. We put up 3 nice new black awnings. I will tell you that one of the AC units that controls the air in the foyer when you're going into the CD Joiner is non-functioning. Another one is on its last legs. We're not requesting anything right now. We're just letting you know matter of information that in the future that will have to be addressed depending on the rentals. The heat and air inside the auditorium is working fine from everything that I've been to the last couple of events. It's really cool. It's just that foyer area when you walk in, when you stop at the steps. That particular unit seems to have some issue, but we're not going asking for anything on that right now. Just for information right now. And last but least is the City of Marion, in conjunction with HMRA and Chamber, is sponsoring a Elvis night next Friday, June the 21st at the Main Street Commons. It's a free concert. I encourage each of you to come. It's going to be a good evening, so I appreciate it, and you'll have a good evening if you come out and just visit and see an Elvis impersonator, and be a good thing for our citizens of Marion. And then, that's all I have. Councilman Baker, do you have anything?
Just one thing. Alan, the grant for the storm generators, did they ever come in?
Yeah, no, we've applied, yes. We hadn't heard back.
We haven't heard back?
We have applied.
Okay. What I was asking about is during the previous storms, we're using those areas for shelters, and mainly if it's winter or summer, we need a backup generator for those areas in case everybody is pushed into that area, or for those that are pushed into those areas.
I think one of them estimate was like 70,000.
Yeah, one was about 70, one was like 89.
Yeah, and we got a local contractor to give us a price on it, and that's what we use to get our paperwork to submit.
And we've been following through with it. Basically what it told us is we had a chance to get one funded, but we probably wasn't going to get both funded.
But we can always apply later.
We can
for
apply
it.
again. So
Yeah.
that's kind of, we've kind of made like the first cut, so to speak, but it was like, the possibility y'all still in the running for one, but we're not going to be able to fund two.
One is better than none.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I did talk to David Holcomb. He actually called me the other day for emergency management. We're going to get the Red Cross to come in and actually certify those facilities for shelter. Now, they couldn't be used in the actual windstorm because of the type of construction and height. But anything after the initial storm, we could use, and they'd be certified through Red Cross.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Councilman Frazier?
Did anybody find out how much it cost that last election? I asked a couple of weeks back. You didn't know at the time, but now somebody should know something now.
Have we got the bill, Patricia, from the election commission yet?
It was over 3,000, I'm not sure.
It's about
I can find out that for you tomorrow.
3,500. That's
Okay.
usually what it
It was
costs.
3,000 or something.
Oh,
Normally it's about 3,500, isn't it, for the election
okay.
in that neighborhood?
Councilman Atkinson?
I don't worry about it.
Councilman Atkinson?
I don't have anything.
Councilwoman Tassett?
Yes, I do. Good evening, everyone. Pastor McKelvey is here. Thank you for coming. I don't know if this is your first meeting, but it's good to see you, other than at the hairdresser, so good to see you. Also, I'm thankful that we now have structure with the program at Rice's. It's imperative that we have something more than play there, so looking forward to what that is going to bring. I'd also like to thank Cliff for everything that he's doing in conjunction with the anti-bullying rally and also with the book giveaway that Mr. Christopher Davis has been promoting. District 5, there's a lot going on in District 5. It's summertime and the police has been vigilant in the community, but there's still a lot of guns, a lot of complaints, a lot of concerns. So it's imperative that we remain law-abiding, that we look out for each other and make this city safe. So as neighbors helping neighbors, I've done a lot of door-to-door awareness, especially for our seniors because they're concerned, they're scared, they're nervous. So I've spoken with Chief Flowers, who's right here, and we're going to do everything possible to promote safety and awareness. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Hunt?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Thank you.